Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Dan the Tutor, on a mission to become the world's greatest tutor. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to use interval notation. This is the thing that looks like this, or maybe this, or quite possibly something crazy like this. And so I'm going to be telling you how to write interval notation, what the parentheses versus the square brackets means, what the union symbol means, or the capital U. And the reason why this is so important that you know this is because in higher levels of math, we're going to be using interval notation more and more often, and we're going to be using inequality form less and less. So first I want to say, if you ever have a closed circle on a graph or a number line versus an open circle, these two things mean different things. The closed circle means we want you to include that point. Traditionally, this means it's going to be greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. And then for the open circle, that just means the opposite. Don't include that point. And it means that we're going to see greater than or less than. Now the thing that's new is that with interval notation, when we want to include the point, it means that we are going to be using a square bracket, that or that. And for the don't include, it's going to be parentheses, that way or that way. The other thing we need to know about interval notation is that it's always the lowest number, comma, the highest number. And again, sometimes it's parentheses, sometimes it's square brackets, sometimes it's one of each. It depends if I have a closed circle or an open circle. And so with that, let's look at some simple examples. Number 1, I have a number line. On my number line, I have the point positive 3. And let's say I have an open circle there with the graph going to the right like this. So how would this be represented using interval form? Well, first, the lowest point is 3. The highest point is infinity. If you just keep going to the right, you're going towards infinity. And since it's an open circle around the 3, it's parenthesis. But what about the infinity? The rule is, and I did not make this rule, but the rule is whenever you have infinity or negative infinity, it is always automatically parenthesis, no exceptions. So this is going to be our answer for this one. Not so bad. Now let's do another one that's a little bit harder. This time on my number line, I have between 0 and 4. Let's say I have a closed circle on the 0 and an open circle around the 4. And I want to represent this section in between them. How would I do it? Pause the video, see if you can do it on your own. So here's what I would say. Definitely the lowest point's 0 and the highest point is 4. At 0, it's a closed circle, so that means square bracket. And 4 has an open circle, so it's parentheses. And that's it. We're done. There's our answer. See? Not so bad. But now I'm getting bored, which means I need to make it harder for you. So for this one, I have closed circles at -1 and positive 6, with the shaded region being not in between them, but on the outsides. How would I represent this? So this is one of those times where I have two separate regions. To do this, I'm just going to do them one at a time. For the first one on the left, the lowest point is negative infinity. So you've got to start with negative infinity, comma, -1. -1 gets square bracket because it's a closed circle. And the negative infinity gets a parenthesis like we talked about before. Then I'll deal with the 6. So for the 6, that would be 6 comma infinity. Again with square brackets around the 6 and parentheses around the infinity. And then finally, when I have two regions, I just stick a union symbol in between them, which is really just a capital U. And there's my answer. And so let's see if you can get this next one on your own. Okay, so here's my graph. Looks like it's the region between 3 to 7, and then 10 off to the right. So go ahead, pause the video, give this one a try, and when you're ready to see the solution, unpause. Okay, so again, there's two regions. That means I'm going to have two answers combined with the union symbol. For the first region, I notice it's 3 to 7, where I want to include 3, but not include 7. And then union with 10 comma infinity, because I'm going off to infinity. And the 10 I want to include, but the infinity gets parentheses. And there we go, that's our answer. And then I just have one final question for you today. This one's kind of a challenge one, but let's see if you can do it. So for this one, it's everything greater than 2 with an open circle at 5. Think about it, give it a try, and when you're ready to see the solution, unpause the video. Okay, so technically there are 2 regions here, between 2 and 5, and then from 5 to infinity. So for the first region, I would say 2 comma 5, with a square bracket around 2, and a parenthesis around 5, and then union, parenthesis, 5 comma infinity, parenthesis around infinity, and there's our answer. So maybe that wasn't a challenge question for you, because you're so smart, but regardless, now I think you understand interval notation, and if you don't, please post your questions in the comments section. Thank you all for watching, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.